Ta-da! We made
All right,
it!
I actually figured
Yay!
this stuff out. Sorry to everybody earlier that I wasn't able to conduct my episode of Slacking with Slacker Steve. I promise you, or at least hope and pray that I'll be able to do it next week. But we got everything working for our show, Pop Goes the Show Live.
So since you didn't do it tonight, does that mean you were slacking off?
I was slacking off. No, I'm mad. Like I was actually like sitting here going, connections. What can't it just work? Aren't Macs supposed to just work? And I don't know. I was all mad. I mean, you saw me when you came in.
Yeah, I had to sing him Jimmy Buffett songs as Elvis to cheer him up.
And it works.
Yeah.
I'm now bright-eyed and bushy-tailed and ready to.
And we listened to this really kick-ass noise band.
Oh yeah, that thing with the thing that the guy upstairs works on.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
Yeah, it was pretty trippy.
Yeah, gave me bad feelings in my tummy. My tummy started growling. It was like, that's some evil shit, but I like it.
Yeah, nothingness came at a high velocity.
Yes. So what are we going to talk about in our little pre-episode? What was the first thing we were going to talk about?
Okay, so I got a whole bunch of stuff here for us to go over. First, I want to do a brief update on the arch enemy. I wasn't gonna bring it up again.
This show's good. Yeah.
He the photographer Jay Salmeron. I like Salmeron. It sounds like a terrible transformer.
Turns into a salamander.
Well, he posted a video up on his metal site. I already forgot the name of it. I totally should have brought that link up before we started.
Yeah, it's out there. You can Google it.
Was it Metal Injection?
Yes.
I don't know.
Probably.
Watch our last episode.
Yeah.
Because I'm a slacker and forgot to do research. Well, anyway, he posted a video up on his site, and he explained the whole situation. He was calm, professional, like he has been like all of his emails. But he ends it with the perfect thing. He's just like, oh, and by the way, I totally filmed Arch Enemy at their last show, and then it was a slideshow of the pictures, set to Richard Cheese's cover of Rage Against the Machine. Fuck you, I won't do what you tell me. It was absolutely fantastic, and I had to watch it like 5 times in a row.
And I mean, and neither one of them has really the money to like kind of fight the other one. So it's like just two next door neighbors throwing dirt clods at each other at this point. Like there's no weapons, it's just two broke guys throwing fucking dirt at each other. Like it's kind of funny, but I think he wins.
Oh man, what a shit show.
That's
all right.
Awesome.
Well, let's move on to some news here. Did you see the Dave Grohl video?
Yeah. I don't know if I'd call it scary or not. I think it was just Dave, like...
Yeah, on AlternativeNation.com, Dave Grohl falls off stage in scary video. And, I don't know. I was busy setting up while you watched it. Like what ended up happening?
He was trying to drink a beer and play guitar at the same time, and it just really kind of didn't work out for him.
Oh, here, I can just play it.
Yeah.
Too bad our audience can't see it.
Okay, so he just climbed down off stage, and he's standing next to a PA speaker. And he's down on kind of on the floor part below the stage. And he's motioning this lady. He's mouthing the words, Bud Light, Bud Light.
You got a beer.
So she gave him a beer, and he put it on top of the speaker. Now he's putting his face next to it, and he's going to try and drink it while he's playing guitar.
Oh, oops. And then he spills it all over the speaker. Oh, man. Oh, it got worse.
Yeah.
Oh, man. And, like, we all know Dave Grohl, like, at least we know his, like,
I swear he did.
persona.
I swear he did that on purpose.
Oh, he's just shaking it off.
those guys were there to catch him right quick that time. Well, they knew. They're like, oh god, here we go again. But they're making it seem like he's all out of control, and it's.
Oh yeah, it was just kind of funny.
Yeah.
That's all it was. All right. Let's move on to our next story. You a Tool fan at all?
Yeah, I mean, you know.
Here's the scary thing. The last Tool album came out when I was in high school. And before
What
I dropped
year was
out.
that?
Oh, what was it? 2005, 2006. Well, it came out in 2005, and I was still in high school. And 2006 is when I was supposed to graduate. But, yeah, anyway, that's how long since it was 10,000 Days came out. So, a lot of people are understandably, let's see, how do I put it? Understandably impatient as they wait for the next Tool album.
He looks like a scary private school principal in that picture.
Again, I wish I could like show it. I was trying to set up a thing.
How can you have any meat if you don't? How can you have any pudding if you don't eat your meat?
I'm gonna rant about this because I was so all right. I was trying to set up a thing with Open Broadcaster so I could like broadcast and like bring pictures in so I could show like pictures like while we're talking about things. But no, it wouldn't work. So yeah, now we're just kind of just streaming on this thing and anyway.
Yeah.
Now that I got that out.
Yep.
So Maynard James Keenan on an article on alternativenation.net hits back at Tool fans blaming him for album delay. So I don't know, it wasn't really all that like bad, I guess. Like it's just, you know, two Tool fans were talking to each other about this situation, and he just kind of chimed in and was like, "Oh, I'm blaming me." While you're whining, I was working.
Just make the goddamn album. Shut up. Why are you even on Twitter? Why are you even fucking around? Shouldn't you be working? Maynard? What the fuck is wrong with
Maybe
you?
like while he's singing, he's like,
he's got his phone on silent and shit, and he's got his Twitter in front of him. It's like, yeah, I got this. That's why it took so long. Because the smartphone explosion between the time the last Tool album came out and now, he's been too addicted to his phone. He's like, I can't put it down. Like, we need to record. He's like, I can't. I don't know why he sounds like Batman, but that's just how I imagine.
Well, like apparently he sings like boop 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 boop. Like
seems like a pretty intense guy.
Yeah, he's definitely kind of out there in a lot of ways. Great singer though.
Yeah,
I don't really like Pussifer that much, but
he's not terrible.
Yeah, that's a ringing endorsement from Adam Peterson.
There. Yeah, it's not that terrible.
All right.
Speaking of people being not good at music.
Oh
no! Wait,
not quite yet. Not quite yet. Let's cleanse their palate a little bit with something kind of lighthearted. Up on metalsucks.net, we found and again, sorry we can't post pictures because you know our tech guy, the other guy that lives upstairs. I mean, he's been slacking more than me lately. Anyway, this guy, just Google electric guitar 1200 colored pencils and you'll get where you need to be. And it looks awesome. Like it looks professional. Like you'd like, oh, Fender released this thing and take it off the wall. So someone made an electric guitar out of 1200 colored pencils. And let's see, I think this came from like Reddit, I want to say. Oh, it's a YouTube video. And oh, okay. I remember seeing like images of this, like kind of in progress.
Oh, is it playable?
I don't know. There might be a clip of him like playing it. Let's see. Riveting footage here.
Yeah. You guys are missing out. I mean, seriously.
Well, you know, presumably they have the internet. All right, let's skip ahead a little bit and see. Okay, so like it's a big solid block, and you can see like all the like, colored pencils. I feel like you could like go to a Goodwill and pick up like a bucket like of used colored pencils and do this for a lot cheaper. Okay, so there it is with the body cut out. And there he is sanding it down and putting the curves in. There it is all strung up. Dude, that looks professional. Like, wouldn't you say? Like, I would walk in, I'd buy it. Looks like that. All right, let's see if we can hear what it sounds like.
Yeah.
Sounds like a Stratocaster. I don't know if everybody can hear that out there. Hopefully. If not, yeah, just look it up.
That's pretty weird.
Yeah, that sounds pretty good. If I wasn't so lazy, I'd do that. But I mean, come on. You know, I'm not gonna ever build anything. I mean, okay, all right. Now we can do the story that you wanted to do. So, are you familiar with the band Exodus
Yes.
and Slayer?
Yeah, of course.
Well, after Jeff Hanneman's unfortunate passing away, unfortunate, tragic.
Yeah.
Is that a better word?
Yeah.
We should probably upgrade that word a little bit. I don't know. I was kind of at my word limit. Exodus / Slayers, Gary Holt destroys Imagine Dragons, the shittiest band on earth. By the way, we're on loudwire.com. Just give them credit.
Yeah.
So I guess Gary Holt isn't a fan of Imagine Dragons.
Yeah, which I mean that
makes sense. I mean that's from
yeah.
what
I mean I get that.
guy.
I mean, the thing you notice if you read the story is he says something to the effect of, well, I don't usually take a shit on other musicians, whatever, but you know, this time I couldn't keep it to myself. So, like, that's kind of like saying, well, no offense, and then you say something and then somebody gets offended and you go, but dude, I said, but no offense. Like, it doesn't work that way. But he's just like talking about how they're not rock and roll and they're the shittiest band on earth. And
I'm like, oh man, they must be terrible. And I brought up a YouTube video. And I'm like,
it wasn't, I mean, it's not what I would listen to every day, but I mean, it wasn't by far wasn't the worst thing out there.
Yeah, I mean,
and for him to say like, well, they're not rock. Okay, well, maybe they're pop.
Well,
okay,
let's read off exactly what he said here. Just watch the college football halftime show to see just how bad it really was. Please, no more calling this shittiest band on earth rock. They are simply the crappiest excuse for a band I've ever heard.
They're not brutal.
Just awful. I don't usually enjoy slagging musicians, but they can't really call themselves that, so fuck them. I mean, he can't deny his passion, I guess.
He's not in a rock band either.
I mean, it's a fork off of rock.
You know, like radio rock and stuff is too, though, like alt rock stuff like that.
I mean, yeah, there's a lot of forks. I mean,
that's what I mean. Like,
it's so forking,
ridiculous.
Yeah.
Listen, you forkers. But I don't think like, okay, if the listener doesn't consider it, you know, well, that's not what I'd call rock. Okay, well, that's your personal opinion, I guess, but just go, oh, they're the shittiest band on earth. They're not rock and roll. Like, if anything, people going, that's not rock and roll, blah, 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 this, that, and the other, and hating on you, like, this kind of makes you more rock and roll.
Well, it's just, you know, I used to be like that. I'm just like, oh, man, I hate X, whatever pop group is popular at the time. And lately, I've adopted the Patton Oswalt school of either listen to it or I don't. And if I don't listen to it, I don't care. And if somebody likes it, you know, I'm glad somebody found something that they were passionate about and something that they enjoyed as much as I enjoyed heavy metal back in the day, and how much I'm enjoying, discovering new music. Because, I just, to somebody, after watching that clip, for somebody to call them the shittiest band on earth,
that's what I'm saying.
I mean, they're not even in the shit category, in my opinion. I mean, you said you wouldn't really listen to them; they're not really your cup of tea. But I mean, it's the same for me.
Well, and the thing is, we can have us as the consumer, as the listener, we can have that conversation with each other. Now it's fine if you go, "This is the shittiest band on earth." Okay, that's one thing, but what purpose does it serve for somebody to call, like, of his position, to call another band out on a worldwide stage like that? If he doesn't like them, that's totally fine. If he thinks they're the shittiest band on earth, that's totally fine too. But I think to just like do this massive call out at them, which he also doesn't, I mean, he doesn't take into account the fact that Lil Wayne was a part of this equation at some point too. We watched the videos. The worst song they did was with Lil Wayne. It was really bad.
And I mean, maybe, like, okay, if you want to say that was the shittiest collaboration I've ever seen,
again, that's totally fine.
I mean, Lil Wayne has some fans, whatever.
But I just don't think somebody in his position like that should, like, what purpose did it serve, for you to call them out in public like that?
Yeah, I mean, we all know what it is. He puts it out on Twitter, and a lot of his, fans with the same mentality as him just get up there and go, "Oh yeah, they are the shittiest man," and then like I would have used to.
You heard it first. Imagine Dragons seems like it's about to be, they're about to be the new Nickelback. It's the band that everybody hates, and all metal bro douche guys are like, "Ooh, it's not brutal enough." Ooh.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really like Nickelback, but yeah, and calling back to Patton Oswalt, he's just like, why? Because they earn money instead of raping and murdering villagers.
Right? I mean, like, damn. I think
he's like, that's how a lot of people around this country earn their fortune. Did I say country? I meant world.
It's true. Raping and pillaging is not our thing, though. It requires...
I have to get out of my chair for that.
Yeah, and I mean, I'll pillage a box of donuts. I was gonna say I'd rape a box of donuts, but I'm like, I'm not really a raper. Like, even when it comes to cereal and donuts, that's not cool. That's not, a box didn't give its consent to you, so you shouldn't do that. Even if it is a box of donuts, you do not have that box of donuts permission to do anything but eat it.
That's right.
Yeah.
Well, all right. So we're gonna record a little shorter of an episode than we usually do. We are working on a scripted episode where we actually put the images in and has slightly more effort put into it.
Yeah.
So our regular show is now no longer the laziest show on the internet.
Yeah, this is the laziest show on the internet. We took over our own shit.
We decided how can we lower the bar even more?
Yep.
And let's do it live.
Yeah.
So let's end the segment. Well, okay. So we've been ending it like what we're listening to lately. So let's talk a little bit. We talked about it last episode, but we're going to talk about it again because shameless self-promotion. The next one we're doing is on Chris Gaines.
Yeah.
And, we're watch that episode for our thoughts and all that stuff. But, that was done by a person named Garth Brooks.
Yeah. So whether you love him or hate him, and I'll talk a little bit about the Lost album.
I listened to this album 4 times today.
Really?
And I listened to a Garth Brooks greatest hits. So, I had like a bit of comparison. So I'm going to talk a little bit about Garth Brooks. And I know you're a super fan.
Yeah.
And let's disclaimer this by saying, we cover a lot of metal news because, we're metal fans, like metal and rock fans. But we're not really like metalheads.
Nah. Don't let the hair and shit fool you.
Yeah, I mean, I love electronica probably as much as I love metal. I love rock and roll as much as I love metal. And I love old country as much as I love metal.
Like old hip-hop and old country.
Yeah. So, you might be kind of surprised to see us cover somebody like Garth Brooks. But yeah, to get a comparison, I listened to his greatest hits, and I gotta say, he's got some rock and roll in his sound, like a lot.
Oh yeah, we'll talk about that. We're gonna talk about more of that on this show coming up.
Yeah.
Ooh. Matt Pike. I've been listening to High on Fire. Forgot about that. Speaking of back to the metal thing. Yeah, but High on Fire recently canceled their tour because Matt Pike might lose another toe due to diabetes.
Well,
that's terrible. Like, we wish him the best. And I kind of think that at this point, like, we're not talking about a guy who didn't take care of himself. Like, he's been doing what he needs to do. It's just, it's a disease, and sometimes it's especially being on the road, it takes its toll. But I think he should petition to be like the new, like, Wilford Brimley, like the diabetes commercials. It should be Matt Pike now. It should be like, I'm Matt Pike, and sometimes I forget to eat and I get angry. And then he goes, and then I eat and I feel better. It's like a Snickers commercial, but for diabetes. And now it's him playing in sleep after he eats, and he's people are like, that's not why he slows down and speeds up.
So what High on Fire albums have you been putting on? Or is it more like songs, or?
The last couple albums, I've been playing the hell out of their new one, Electric Messiah.
I actually haven't gotten around to listening to that.
I actually bought that. I actually bought a physical copy of that.
And I don't think I've bought a CD in a while.
That was the first one I bought in a minute. That and the Chris Gaines one.
Yeah.
Because I had to get that off Amazon.
Yeah, we had to do that because Garth Brooks has just this adamantium chain around his intellectual property. When I was doing research for the episode, I like a lot of things were like, go to this link to listen to this thing, and you click it, it's like dead, taken over by whatever his thing was called.
Yep.
And
it's almost like a puzzle.
Yeah, but I did get everything together, so tune in probably a couple weeks. That's probably how long it'll take our editor to turn it around. He hasn't been drinking as much caffeine lately.
Plus, we could both talk. You've done your research, and I'm kind of a super fan, so you probably talk at length without a whole lot of cutting and pasting.
Yeah.
We'll make his job easier.
All right. So I think that's where we're ended. Somebody got to the 20-minute mark and just said, "Yeah, I'm out of here. These guys talk too much." So
guess that's probably my kids.
Yeah. So until next time, I'm Slacker Steve.
You suck, Dad. I'm Adam.
And we will see you next time. And I promise I will put out a Slacking with Slacker Steve episode.
Yeah.